Hello, everyone. My name is Jarrett Woods. I hope everybody's doing well today. Thank you for joining us for this panel. I think you're going to find that the information that you find in this panel will be very, very helpful. I am a senior consultant for the Coaching for Impact programs brought to you by JP Morgan Chase. And what my program is really about is connecting some of our clients to opportunities, connecting our clients to resources, providing them information that they might not have otherwise access to. And ultimately, we like to provide them or to help them access the capital that they need to grow their businesses, because we all know capital is definitely a fuel for growth. And although, we heard what's his name? The guy that was just up here. He was talking a little sass about bankers and accountants. But let me just tell you, right, there was some truth in what he said, and we're going to click on some of that to really get into the specifics on, what you as a business owner really need to do. And today's panel is really, as Marlise said, about developing relationships. And we have an acronym that we use called BAIL. And BAIL stands for, now he touched on it, he said BIL. Right? We added in BAL or BAI. Anyway, we added banker, accounting, insurance, and legal relationships. And when you look at this panel, all those places are represented, with the exception of the legal relationships. We actually had someone, unfortunately, they weren't able to make it today. But what we really want to click on is the importance of having these relationships in place as a business owner. Because as a business owner, you're not always going to be great at everything, right? You may make the best hamburger in the world, but that doesn't mean that you're great at running a hamburger restaurant, right? There are other aspects of running a business that you need to be proficient in. And when you're not proficient in those areas, you need to surround yourself with people who you can trust and who are proficient in those areas. So without further ado, I'd like for my panel to introduce themselves, tell you a little bit about themselves, tell you about their industry, their area of expertise, and we'll just kind of take this conversation from there. So why don't we start on the right with my colleague and partner in crime, Kristen.
Good afternoon, guys. Happy to be here. I'm Kristen Trahan. I'm a vice president with Commercial Bank with JP Morgan Chase. I've been with the firm for 12 years, and I've just worked with individuals, small business owners, corporations for the last 12 years, building relationships and trying to do my best to help the economics in Louisiana just continue to develop and grow through the people I've met.
I'm Cherine Patin, and I'm a former employee of Chase Bank, but all of these people on the panel are my partners, and I'm currently with JD Bank as a commercial lender, 44 years of being a commercial lender in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So I think we'll be able to have some ground roots of how to get your business started, not knowing where you are in the growth of your business. With all of us here, that you'll be happy that you attended this session, because we have lots of great information to share from the banking, legal, and insurance perspective, and accounting. It's so important, and it impacts how you handle it when you start, and then you can get to the last presenters where he had you. But you have to have us first to get there. And he was correct in so many things he said, but I think what all of us will tell you will just make you feel that, yes, I can do this, and you can.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alvaro Rivera. I'm the owner of Amax Insurance Agency. I've been in the industry 10 years, started as a customer service representative, worked my way up to an agent, opened my business August will make 3 years. We do mostly commercial. We do personal lines as well. Property and casualty consists of auto, home, flood, general liability, workers' comp, renters. We do everything except health at the moment. We do have plans in the future of doing life and health. Born and raised in New Orleans, Louisiana. We do service Baton Rouge area, New Orleans, Covington, Houma, Mandeville, with plans to go up north Louisiana as well. We are a bilingual agency. A lot of our customers speak only Spanish, so we deal with several demographics. But glad to be here today and give out some good information to everybody.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tracey Carney. I am the accountant on the panel today. I have a background in accounting, of course. I have a very interesting background, but for purposes of the panel, I have a business, tax and accounting business, is Tracy Carney CPA Services, and I provide tax and accounting services anywhere from assisting you with completing your W-4 to filing your taxes to preparing financial statements for submission to bankers if you need any certified letters. Then I cover all of those services as well. But I've been a CPA certified since 2002, and I'm also a certified fraud examiner. I have a background in auditing as well. So I'm just here to address any questions or concerns you have, and I'm happy to be here on the panel. Thank you very much, Jarrett, for inviting me. And we're not going to worry about legal because the CPA exam was harder than the bar exam. It's a running joke between accountants, CPAs, and attorneys.
I believe you, Tracy. So, I just want to kick it off with kind of a general question, because this panel is about relationships, right? And you have to start building those relationships. Again, seeking out these kinds of professionals is paramount to a business's success. So I want to ask the same question of each panelist, and then I'll start talking to you guys about individually what your capacity is, and some more pointed questions based on your industry. But starting again with Kristen, can you talk to us a little bit more about your role at JP Morgan Chase, the difference really between the commercial bank and maybe business banking, but also how you develop and nurture relationships with your clients?
Okay. So everything starts with the client. I would say I'm a client advocate. So I work for JP Morgan Chase, but my job every day, what I go to work for, is to help people. So I am a bank employee, but I say I'm a client advocate. So I'm always looking for ways to plug in people with other people. I came here today and I'm the BREW team, just different people with nexus. When I meet new businesses, the first thing I really ask them is who they've met with in their city to help them, because it's hard starting a business on your own. You really need a support system. So these people that's what they get paid for. But a lot of people, they won't know those partnerships. They won't know to reach out to someone at Nexus. They won't know to reach out to BREW or whatever their local chamber is in their city. So the first thing I do tell someone that's starting a business, something new, is I try to plug them in with those people to help them do business plans, refer them to other partners within our bank, because we are a full service bank. We have everything from consumer bank to private bank to investment bank. So anything they're looking to do in any lane, the more people you can connect them with, the better, because no one banker is going to be there all in all to help them push their business through. So I just connect people, basically.
Absolutely, and I love what you said about being a client advocate. I'm gonna start using that line when I start telling people
It's
I'm not a
very
banker,
true.
I'm a client advocate. Excuse me.
Because you have
And
to balance it,
you
right?
do,
You have
you
to
do.
balance the bank's needs and the bank's profit with the client, because no client's coming back that you can't help solve some sort of problem. So typically my day leads with the client.
And I'm going to give a little Kristen commercial here, because I've worked with Kristen, and what she's saying is absolutely true. And, we have a little concept at JP Morgan Chase we call One Chase. And what we do is we try to collaborate with internal partners that have just as much passion. Marlise is also part of that One Chase team as well. And she's also a great resource. So like Kristen's saying, when she's talking to clients, she's asking them, have you talked to Marlise? Have you talked to Jarrett?
And just to plug in the Baton Rouge team, because our office in Lafayette, but I cover commercial clients throughout the state. And I always, when we talk about One Chase, I use the Baton Rouge team, because the Baton Rouge team is more connected through all Chase lines of business than any other city I've seen. I work with bankers out of Houston, Atlanta, Dallas, everywhere. And Baton Rouge really embodies that one Chase. Like, they work together, they go on calls together through all the lines of business. So I always shout you guys out because I think y'all do a great job at One Chase.
Word. And truth is, like, everything is a team effort, right? So there's many cases where, you know, most of the people on this stage may be working with one client at the same time and coordinating their efforts to make sure that your clients, you know, are getting the needs that they do need to grow their business. So Cherine, I would say same question. What's your process for building that relationship, and why is it important in your line of work?
I've never not had relationships with people. I've only done this job through relationships. I'm currently with JD Bank. I would have never left Chase Bank. I wasn't looking for a job at all. The guys that run JD Bank, I worked with them in my previous life, and they recruited me for 2 years, and they made an offer I couldn't pass up. Okay? But I still partner with Marlise, True Fun. I see April all the time with trends. I mean, there's not anyone that I know I'm not willing to introduce anyone in this community to. I've been doing this for so long. You cannot do this job without helping each other. You have to have a platform to help each other. And if you don't, you will not succeed. There will be times I have a question. Trust me, I'm going to call this accountant and say, now, I might be looking at this wrong now. You know, I know PPP loans, you know, we've added it back, or I can call Kristen, or I can call Jarrett. I can call anybody in this town that I have a relationship with and ask them a question, and they will help me. But the time you get in trouble as a business owner is when you don't ask the question. And we don't profess to know it all. And we lean on each other. We are friendly competitors. This is a perfect example of working together. There's no reason for us not to. There is enough business for us all to go around. If I can't do something because of size, I can call Kristen, and the size of loans that she may be able to do, 100 million, 50 million, I can do 50 million, but 80 million, 100 million, why wouldn't I call someone I know and say, can you look at this? I know it's a good deal, and partner with Kristen, or call Jarrett and say, I need to get someone in your program. If you're not working that way, you're gonna have a problem in life, period. Not just in opening your company, but just existing. And my dad owned a business, so I grew up in someone who owned a small business. So, you know, I don't know anything any different. And it was all relationships. So you have to start with your relationships, and you treat people the way you want to be treated.
Well said. But if you got a question about PPP, please don't call me.
No,
We're
done.
PPP is over.
Over.
I am so done
Over.
with that, Lord.
Over.
Just don't say PPP in that order anymore. Just
Yeah.
PP ... All right.
Okay, we're done. We're done. We're done.
I got PTSD from that. So, Alvaro, talk to us a little bit about developing relationships with clients through the lens of insurance.
All right, so customer service is key. Networking is key. When I got into the industry, I was told by older agents not to bother attending other insurance organization meetings. She's like, why would you go meet with other agents? There's no customers there. Well, 3 years in, 80% of my referrals come from other agents. There'd be an agency that mainly focuses on personal insurance, but I focus more on commercial. So anytime they got a commercial client, they'd send them my way. Or there's a customer that doesn't speak English, we'll send them my way. So networking within your own industry is no problem with that. And that, like you said, you can lean on one another with a question, whether it's a life insurance agent, whether it's a property and casualty, there's something you don't know, you pick up the phone and they'll help you out. When a customer calls you, as a business owner, you have to connect those dots. If you don't know the answer, you find out, and that will help you grow as a business owner. And also your customers, they recognize that. And they know, hey, I need something, this guy can get it done. Insurance agents, we cross-sell. So if we have your auto, we like your home, we like your flood, we like your business ventures. The more trust your customer has within you, you can count on that retention. There's agents who had customers for 30 years, and their kids are now their customers. So customer service, just, networking, and just being able to provide your customer more than just calling them when it's time to renew, or, calling them, hey, your payment's late, just, hey, do you know we offer this as well? We can do this also. I've partnered up with other agents within the industry who I also refer to when it comes to homeowners insurance. Right now, the homeowners market is a little crazy. So the companies that are coming back, certain agents have access to them. So, if I'm not able to find them something, I can refer them over to another partnered agent. And there's just a trust and a confidence knowing that, hey, we're not going to take these other customers from this person. And it's a network that we build, and customers, they love to see that. And if you can be a one-stop shop, they're not going anywhere.
I think you're seeing a common theme emerge, and that's collaboration, even with competition. And again, that too is about building relationships, and you'll see in this panel that we also utilize the relationships we built through networking to provide better service for our clients. Tracey, I want to talk to you. I want you to answer the same question, but I also want the audience to understand that this is maybe one of the most critically overlooked relationships that needs to be built, because this is really an entryway into a number of different aspects as it pertains to running a small business. So Tracey, please talk to us about how important it is for you to build that relationship with the client, and talk to us a little bit about what that process is like as well.
Okay, so first of all, for my clients and anybody that walks up to me, I am a humble servant, right? And what I aim to do is to arm my clients with information. Information is key. If you don't have the information, then you can't proceed in a way that will be beneficial to your business, right? So when my clients come in, they say, hey, Tracey, I need you to do this for me. I might need you to do a financial statement. Can you do my taxes? Wait a minute, we're gonna sit down. I'm gonna prepare it, but we're gonna go over it, right? Because I need for you to understand what this information is in this financial statement or on this tax return, just in case I win the lottery and buy the island overseas and you can't get in contact with me, then you'll have some knowledge. You'll also have the knowledge when somebody else is talking to you about that area, and you can say, well, wait a minute, this conflicts with what Tracey told me, so I might need to, double check on this. And because, I really don't really like jail, I'm gonna help us stay out of jail. So that's important. And believe it or not, I talk about the legal aspect, but as an accountant, as a CPA, we have to read and interpret law as well. So we have to be able to conceptualize and know the rules behind the accounting process or procedure that supports that particular process or procedure. But with my clients, I am a humble servant. My clients call me. They don't think I'm ever off. But it's fine because I want them to be armed with it. Hey, Tracey, can you help me fill out a W-4? Hey, Tracey, what does this mean on my tax return or on my paycheck? So doing that, you are armed with that information. So it's important to have an accountant because you want to keep your cash flow flowing. And I'm not talking about bringing money in, right? It's not just about bringing money in. If you're not taking the appropriate steps to take care of your financial side, then you will run into a cash flow issue. For instance, if you get in trouble with the IRS, if you're not completing your tax return or filing your business taxes correctly, you can get into a world of trouble and find yourself on the government $50,000, $40,000. I had somebody call me yesterday. They were like, Tracey, I tried to do my amendment and they sent me this letter and, I don't know what to do. I'm like, bring it to me. So my goal is not to beat you over the head with a price. Everything costs, right? But my ultimate goal is to make sure that you're able to understand the information that you came to me for. So in doing so, it starts coming together for you. It may not come together for you right then, but as you're going about your business, you'll be like, oh, okay, this is what affects this affects that. And then when you hire a CPA, an accountant, then you can take more time towards growing your business instead of trying to learn what a debit or a credit is, or when the tax deadline is, or if you have to do an amendment. So that's the benefit of having, accountant or a CPA in your corner. So in bringing those people together. So I'm like them. If somebody asks me about insurance, I don't step in the 9 feet water if I know I can only swim in the 4 feet. I'm gonna bring them to Alvaro. I'm sorry. Alvaro. I'm sorry. I see messing up names. So I don't go into areas where I'm not supposed to be. So the partnerships are important. Bankers, you need a CPA for certain certifications for banks. So, we touch it all, and it's important to have that if you're going to have a small business.
So I think that's incredibly important, understanding that part of the process. But I'm going to stay with you, and I want you to talk a little bit about the interview process, right? Okay. So you meet, someone's interested in your services. Are they interviewing you, or are you interviewing them, or maybe a little bit of both?
Well, it's both. So it's more of them interviewing them to, one, determine what their needs are, two, determine if I can fulfill those needs, and three, is this person trying to make me go to jail with them? So when people were calling me about, can you do a Schedule C for a PPP? And I'm like, what is PPP? I never looked at it. So when I looked at it, I was like, oh, no, ma'am, I can't. If you didn't have a Schedule C when you filed, I don't have a Schedule C for you now, because I'm not wearing orange. Okay, and orange or whatever color. I think they wear pink in Arizona. And I have clients all over the country, right? So that interview process and for them to interview me. So a lot of times people don't know what they're asking for. They may get a call from Jarrett and say, I need a profit and loss statement certified by a CPA. And they're like, they're saying I need a profit and loss statement. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, it's very simple. Whatever you brought in and where you brought it from, and then your expenses, and you take that, subtract your expenses, that's your profit and loss statement. So whether you hire an accountant or not, I still need you to give me the information in order to make sure that you have what you need in order to move forward. So the interview process goes both ways, and I may not be a fit for them. You know, they're interviewing me about price, you know, my availability. You have to be available, reasonably available, and, you know, make sure that you're able to provide what that person is looking for. So I don't, it's not a money thing for me. Well, I need money because the insurance, they're killing me in New Orleans. But, you know, I have to make sure that I'm providing the service that you're paying for and providing a service of excellence, and that you're armed, walking away feeling like, okay, I'm educated now, I can move forward, I can concentrate on my business because I've hired Tracey and I can trust her to take care of that part of my business.
Certainly, and you know, again, excellent points. I think you get a sense that, you know, it's about being a trusted advisor, and you can't be a trusted advisor if you're literally just trying to get somebody's money, right? You have to be able to provide them with a quality service that they need and can use, and that's going to benefit them as well. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship. So I'm going to kind of walk my way back over this way. So we all know where we live, Louisiana, right? We all have been through the pandemic. I was about to say that P word again. We all been through the pandemic. We all, you know, some of us were impacted by the Gulf oil spill. We get hit with a hurricane every 18 months or so. You know, Hurricane Alley over here. I mean, there's a 100-year flood here not long ago. There's always something going on, right? So can you walk us through some times or some instances where your products, your services, and your relationship with a client help them, you know, save their business, sustain their business through an unexpected tough time?
Yeah, so we'll touch on, you know, with the floods that go on, you know, in Louisiana. So years back, they had about 5 or 6 years, they had bad floods in Laplace, Louisiana. I had a couple that just newly purchased a home, and they were told not to purchase flood insurance because they were in an ex-flood zone. We quoted it anyway. I think it might have been $400 for the year. Their agent and lender said, oh, you don't have to buy it. Don't worry about it. It's just an extra expense. So we convinced them to go ahead and buy the flood insurance, going against what everybody else was telling them. Even their neighbors, oh, we haven't had flood insurance in, you know, 15, 20 years. So they bought the home. A month later, they got 4 feet of water in their home. They were the only house on the block with flood insurance. So all the damage that was caused was covered by their flood policy, while everyone else, you know, instead of paying $400 or $500 a year, lost a lot. And that's, you know, that's something that happens all the time. That's just from experience, you know, with a customer that I help. And on the business side, I mean, these contractors that we insure, you know, there's always something happening, and especially when it comes to workman's comp. We have employees, you know, after Ida, falling off roofs and going months with not being able to work, countless surgeries, and luckily with the workers' comp insurance, you know, these guys were able to take care of their employees and also compensate them while they were unable to work to support their family.
You know, and I'd be willing to bet if we had more time, he could give you 1,000 more examples of when insurance has actually come in and saved the day. You know, I think at the end of the day, it's always going to be something that all business owners need. And again, developing relationships will help you gain a better understanding about not just what you need, but why you need it and when it could come in handy. You know, I really wanted to have, you know, a legal representative up here so that they could kind of click on some things, because I think insurance also ties closely into some of the legal issues. But I'm going to lean on you, Cherine, if that's okay, because Cherine has a number of years in experience and expertise in working with all kinds of small businesses. So can you talk to us a little bit about the importance of developing legal relationships and when they kind of come in handy?
Well, several different times. So when you decide you're going to open a business, first of all, you need to determine what type of entity you want to establish, okay? And that may be a limited liability company, that may be a corporation, That may be a limited liability company as a single member. It may be a limited liability company with multiple members. You may have a partnership. You may have a dual partnership. You may have several different types of entities. So what generally may happen to Kristen and I, you have a friend who works for Exxon, and they tell you, I can get you this contract, and you need a loan, and you can come in and you can do this business. So now you have a contract, and you need a line of credit. Everybody needs a line of credit, whether they need a line of credit or not. They need a line of credit. So they'll come to Kristen and I, and they say, I'm going to start my business, or they're going to start a business, and it's never been done before. They are the first, and it's never been done before. We have not seen it ever. Trust me. It's been done before. It's either succeeded or it's failed. And if we tell you, you may want to reconsider that, and you may want to go research that a little bit. You might want to take our advice, okay? We're not trying to throw shade, but we might know just a tad bit. And you try to sit there and convince all 5 of us, legally or not, well, you are going to do it better than the last expert that it didn't work for. So I'm going to tell you again, just listen to us. Maybe if everybody else have told you that might not be a good idea, and you come to the banker and she says, now tell me about that again. And they say, I know about that business. This, and this could occur. And they say, oh no, that's not going to happen to me. And they're saying, yes, this is what occurs. Run. Run very fast. If not, you're going to be seeing the bankruptcy attorney. You will not be seeing the attorney to review the Exxon contract. So for every contract that's written, it can be broken. But there's lots of nuances due to the Napoleonic law here in Louisiana, in contracts and language, that none of us have the expertise to understand, whether it's in your insurance contract, whether it's in a receivable contract, how you're getting paid, with the expectation of when that job is going to be done, if there's cost overruns, if there are change orders. I can name 150 items within that one contract. All of them do not benefit you. Okay? So you want the expert to review that contract, because you might need to go back to Exxon, and I'm not picking on Exxon, and say, Mr. Exxon, we need to reword this where it now benefits us both mutually. And then it will benefit the Chase Bank, the JD Bank, the insurance, the accountant, all of us, when we look at doing what we call a receivables line, and we're going to tie that contract as collateral to that promissory note. And then we'll say, well, do you have the pro forma? You know how much you're going to make on this contract? Because just because you get in this contract, that is not going to be your net profit. We want to know your expenses. We want to know your costs. And trust me, a lot of times people come to us and they say, oh yeah, I know it. Okay, what are they? And we have crickets. And you wait, and you wait. But what they really need to do, they should have called our partner and say, what is my liability insurance going to cost? What is the hazard going to cost? What is payroll? What is my workman comp? Because guess what, Kristen, the 3 of us, and our partner over here, we're asking. And then she's going to put it in that income statement or in your performer. And without that, then the attorney's going to say, so you're getting this contract, but you really, this isn't going to benefit you anything. You're not going to make but about 5%. And then you're thinking, well, I'm not going to make the money I think. So then they can help you do what? Negotiate a more favorable contract with Exxon. Because I'm looking at the contract, and Kristen's looking at the contract, and Jarrett's looking at the contract before we go there, and we're thinking, well, okay, insurance is going to cost about this much. We've done, that 7 minutes he talked about? We've looked at it in about 7 minutes, and we're saying, this is about negative. And our facial expression won't say that, and we're trying to say to you, as a customer, you really need to look at your contract. Have you talked to your accountant about this? Have you ran some performers? Have you talked to a contract attorney? You know what? You might want to, for this specific contract, you might want to open a separate LLC and let your operating company guarantee this specific contract, because if something goes wrong, we don't want anybody suing you against this contract. Now we're trying to structure it to help you, and you don't have a clue what we're talking about. And you leave there, and this is what you leave there saying, I went to see Cherine Patin, and that banker's never available to help me. And that's not true. Because what I'm really trying to help you do is see you need all of us.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. You definitely need all of us. And again, we have a little bit of time left, so I want to make sure that I ask Kristen one last question that kind of ties everything all together. The last session up here, the guy said, oh, you get advice from your banker, you get advice from your accounting, they're conflicting things. You should listen to one at one point in time and listen to the other at another point in time. I respectfully disagree. I think that will be a symptom of something else. And Kristen, I don't know if you agree with that or not, but if you could speak to that just a little bit about, hey, you know what? Some of these things are supposed to be working in unison. Can you talk to us about how you work with your clients' other resources and their bail relationships when helping them out?
Well, I'll say every relationship's important. Your banker, your accountant, your legal team. Insurance in Louisiana is the most important thing right now, which is why you see people are going to legislation right now. They're fighting. They're trying to put ceilings on insurance. Like, insurance is a problem for every industry. Every person in here, if you have a business, it's a problem. Every homeowner, every person with auto insurance, you see people on Facebook. It's an urgent problem. So you need advice. You need people that are going to broker. But at the end of the day, your business is your business. Like, we are advocates. Like, these people can help you. They can give advice. They can refer you to people. But at the end of the day, your business is your livelihood. Your employees are your responsibility. You're there to make a profit. You're there to make money. And everyone can just help you. If you look at it, your parents, you grew up and your parents had so much advice, and you may listen, you may not. But ultimately, it's your decision to make. And that business making it or that business failing is on you. So you just take everyone's advice, you listen, you go back and you try to apply it to your business. And from relationships and years of knowing people, you can tell who's a trusted advisor, who knows what they're talking about. Those people have years of experience with other clients, maybe in your industry, maybe not, but those people have gone through those ups and downs of the economy here in Louisiana, and it's in your best interest to listen, but at the end of the day, it is your company, and you're going to also make those decisions. So make the best decisions of making those partnerships that you can.
Yo, Absolutely, 100%. I'd like to thank all the panelists up here for providing some excellent insights and information. I would encourage each of you to reach out to us, to talk to us, network with us, and start building those relationships. And if you have any specific questions, you can ask us after this panel. But for now, I just want to thank you guys for your attention, and God bless. Have a
Can I
good
say
day.
one more thing?
Sure, absolutely.
Please know someone in your chamber. Louisiana Economic Development, Baton Rouge Economic Development, there's Greater New Orleans, there's Lafayette. Every parish has an economic development. Your bank has community development people involved. Nexus, I'm sure there's other groups throughout Baton Rouge, that Small Business Development Center. So when you're planning for your business, growth, SCORE, there's so many of them. There's so many federally funded groups that are organized here to see the economy grow. It would be to your destitute not to use that. Like, your tax dollars are being put into that to help you guys grow. So make sure you're partnering with someone. There's people in this room that are in those groups. If you came today and you haven't met anyone, I would suggest you use it. It's free research. They can help you grow into locations. There's certified sites. There's certified dollars waiting for you guys. So if you're just connecting with people within your own industry and just worried about just your clients and the operating of your business, there's more to business than your business. Like, there's so many other things. So just make sure you're partnering. That's what's going to sustain you guys and help you grow. So just make sure you're making those connections.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. We'll all stay here for a while after this panel, so please connect with us on one-on-ones. Thanks.